Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into a book that almost everyone in personal finance knows, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's definitely made a huge splash over the years.
Yeah, and our mission here isn't just a quick summary. We've gone through a pretty detailed review, looking at the core ideas, what works, and also, well, where people push back.
So kind of a shortcut to understanding its impact.
Exactly. Why does it stick with people? What's the real value here?
And it's interesting. Published way back in '97, it sits firmly in that personal finance self-help space. And the main theme, it's all about getting financially independent, using things like investing, starting businesses, and really constantly learning about money.
In the heart of it, the thing everyone remembers is that central contrast Kiyosaki sets up, these two figures.
These two dads, yeah.
His poor dad, who's his actual father, highly educated, believes in the safe path, school, good jobs, security.
Traditional rep.
Totally. And then there's Rich Dad. Now, that's his best friend's father, a businessman, an investor, the one who teaches him how money really works, supposedly.
And that contrast, it just grabs you from the start, doesn't it? It's very relatable.
It really is.
And it's not just a story device. It sets up the entire philosophy.
Right.
The core idea from Rich Dad, the one that challenges everything, is that line, the rich don't work for money.
They make money work for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the review we looked at really hammers this home. It's not just a slogan. It's meant to be a fundamental shift in thinking. Like, are you working for your money or is it working for you?
That makes sense. So once you get that core idea, the two dads, the book starts throwing these lessons at you, right? Often pretty counterintuitive stuff.
Definitely designed to shake things up.
Okay, let's unpack some of the big ones. First off, this idea that financial education is just crucial.
Yes.
He basically says schools teach you everything but how to handle money. So you got to teach yourself to manage it, invest it, grow it. It's kind of like a call to action, right?
It is. And flowing right from that is maybe the most famous concept, assets versus liabilities.
Yes, the definitions.
So Kiyosaki's definition is simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. Think rental properties, generating income, stocks putting dividends.
Okay.
A liability takes money out of your pocket. Loans, mortgages on your primary residence, car payments, things that cost you money regularly.
And here's where it gets really interesting and something the review flagged too. Most people think their house, their home, is their biggest asset.
Right. The conventional wisdom.
But Kiyosaki says, hold on, if it's costing you money every month, mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, it's actually acting like a liability under his cash flow definition.
Exactly. And the review pointed out that the genius, or maybe the controversy, is that focus on cash flow first. It forces you to look at whether something makes you money now, not just its potential future value or what's on a balance sheet.
It's a simple shift, but man, it really reframes how you look at everything, doesn't it? Your house, your car.
It does. And that cash flow focus leads right into another big lesson. Don't just work for money. Well, the book argues that, the poor and middle class typically trade their time directly for a salary. That's the rat race he talks about.
Okay.
Rich people, on the other hand, focus on building systems or buying assets that generate income without them having to constantly work. Passive income. Their money is doing the heavy lifting.
So it's about detaching your income from your direct effort eventually. That really makes you think about, well, your job and how you structure your life. And that ties into the next point, right? The importance of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
He's pretty blunt about job security being, well, kind of an illusion, something that can trap you.
Yeah, he sees it as dependence.
And so building your own business or becoming a savvy investor is presented as the real path to, freedom and building actual wealth, taking control.
And it's not necessarily saying quit your job tomorrow, as the review noted. It's more about cultivating an entrepreneurial mindset, seeing opportunities, being willing to build something for yourself.
Taking calculated risks, too.
Right.
Right. That's part of it.
Yes. That's another key thing. The book really frames risk differently. Failure isn't the end. It's actually essential for learning. Mistakes are how you boost your financial IQ.
Which is fascinating because most of us are taught to avoid financial risk at all costs.
Right. It flips that script, embraces risk as a teacher.
So, okay, if we're not just working for money, we're being entrepreneurial. What about people with regular jobs? What's the advice there?
That's where the mind your own business idea comes in.
Which means?
It basically means even if you have a day job that pays the bills, you need to focus on building your own asset column on the side. Don't just manage your employer's business, manage your own financial future.
Ah, okay. So don't rely solely on the paycheck. Build other income streams, acquire assets that work for you.
Exactly. Avoid total dependence. Build ownership.
You can see why these ideas hit home for so many people. They're quite transformative. So why does this book have such staying power? What are the core strengths the review really nailed down?
Well, the review highlighted a few key things. First, it's just easy to understand.
Yeah, the language is very simple.
Right. Simple language, relatable stories, makes it super accessible, especially if you're new to finance. Second, and this is maybe the big one, it prompts a huge mindset shift. It really challenges those ingrained beliefs about jobs, school, money. It forces you to question the conventional path.
Opens your eyes a bit.
Totally. Third, it's incredibly motivational. People read it and feel inspired, like they can take control of their finances.
Gets you fired up.
Yeah. And finally, that strong focus on passive income. Just introducing that concept, building income streams beyond your salary, is eye-opening for many readers.
Okay, those are strong points. But look, no book this big is without its detractors. It's not without its critics, is it?
No, definitely not. And the review we looked at was pretty balanced on this.
So what are the main criticisms?
One major one is the lack of practical step-by-step advice. It's great for motivation, shifting your thinking.
Right, gets you excited.
But then you're often left wondering, okay, but how? What do I actually do next Monday morning? It's more catalyst than roadmap.
That seems fair. What else?
Another is the, let's say, simplified view of economics. Critics point out his definitions of asset and liability aren't standard accounting, especially the house thing.
Right, accountants wouldn't define it quite that way.
No, but the review suggests, maybe that's intentional, to hammer home his specific point about cash flow over traditional net worth. It's a reframing, but good to be aware of.
Okay. And the stories themselves?
Ah, yes. The unverified stories. The biggest question mark is around Rich Dad himself. Is he real? Or is he, a composite character, a symbol? Kiyosaki's been a bit vague, and some argue it undermines the credibility.
Interesting. So putting it all together, the mindset shifts, the motivation, but also the lack of concrete steps and maybe some fuzzy details. Who is this book really for? Who gets the most out of it?
The review suggests it's particularly good for a few groups. Beginners in personal finance, definitely.
Makes sense.
Young adults, maybe students, just starting to grapple with money concepts. Entrepreneurs or freelancers often resonate with the mindset. And, well, anyone feeling stuck in that rat race he described.
That cycle of work, pay bills, work.
Exactly. Anyone looking for a different way to think about wealth.
And the final verdict from the review after weighing everything?
A solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. So still very highly rated, despite the criticisms.
Wow. Okay.
And I think the conclusion really sums it up. Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't your technical finance textbook. You won't learn complex investment strategies.
It's not a how-to manual.
No. But its real lasting value, what the review emphasized, is its powerful focus on mindset over mechanics. It fundamentally aims to change how you think about money, work, and building wealth.
Mindset over mechanics. That's a great way to put it. So we've journeyed through Rich Dad, Poor Dad, hitting the core ideas, the two dads, assets versus liabilities, and that crucial mindset shift.
Less about the how and more about the why and the what if.
Right.
And, if we step back and connect this to the bigger picture, it does make you wonder, what's ultimately more important for your financial journey? Is it learning all the specific how-to steps first? Or is it adopting that different way of thinking about money before you even get to the tactics? Maybe that mindset shift has to come first,
Definitely some food for thought there. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We hope this gives you a clearer, more nuanced view of why this book continues to be so influential.